everyone, and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube, as always, on a Friday night, so get your comments in, and we'll do our best tonight to maybe answer a couple of questions as well, because I know we did discuss a lot on Tuesday night in Club Deck Corner, and there's not much really happened apart from the presser today, etc., but we will get into stuff. So, yes, we have actually got, unlike tomorrow, we have a full house here tonight. First of all, Mr. Scott Carney, how are you?
Yes, I'm all right, mate. Yes, I'm all right for the week is drawn to an end and the Rangers games came closer. I don't know how I quite feel about that, but yeah, that's where we are at. Those of you that are watching on YouTube will have seen that we do have a new sponsor now, and this episode is proudly sponsored by Lux Lift Events, where they elevate your occasion. Whether it's a wedding, birthday, baby shower, or a seasonal celebration like Halloween or Christmas, Lux Lift Events bring the magic. From stunning artificial flower arrangements, luxury balloon displays to candy stands, selfie stations, and even soft play setups for the little ones. They've got everything to transform your event into something unforgettable. If you want your next celebration to be stylish, fun, and picture perfect, let Lux Lift Events do the lifting. You can find them on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram, and let them start your planning today, because with Lux Lift Events, it's time to elevate your occasion, and there's a link for them in the description for this podcast. As somebody that started our business that's very close to this podcast, read into that what you will. We'll appreciate all the support that it can get. Genuinely, the stuff is absolutely superb, and we thank them for supporting the podcast. Back to you, Alistair.
No problem. And next on the podcast, he has returned from a week away, bronzed, refreshed.
A boiled prawn. He's a boiled
no
prawn.
Rangers.
Really.
No Rangers to upset his holiday. Scotia, you're back. You're back with a bang. How are you?
Yes. Evening, Ali. Evening, Carney. Evening, Ross. And evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm good. It was good to be away. Nice wee trip away. Lovely wee place I was at in Zadar. I would recommend it to anyone who've never been. It was a lovely wee place. One of those places I would say that, you know, some places you go abroad, usually most places you go away to, there's always a nutter about. There's none of them that
that was you.
Probably
that
me
was
this
you.
time around. Probably me this time around. Lovely wee place. And it quite lucky it fit in quite well with my kind of schedule with things that I've got going on at the moment. So no, I would say I'm glad to be back, but I'm not really, because I'll need to go to Ibrox tomorrow. So that's a wee unfortunate thing about it. But yeah, good to be with you this evening though.
How many times did you say to folk when you were pitched out their game, Borna Barisic?
It was Dado Perso a couple of times.
Oh, Perso,
from quite close from there. A wee lassie was speaking about the best Croatian player, and I know she was going on to say Luka Modric, but I was adamant that it was Dado Perso.
I always remember. Sorry, Ross, we'll get to you. I always remember me, Carney, and Scotia were in the quayside, and Andy Gorham was in there. And he was calling Scotia Big Dado Perso, and he was on the phone to somebody saying Dado Perso's in the pub, and it was Scotia. It was a good laugh back then. Sorry, Ross. Last but not least, Mr. Ross McLean. Obviously, your videos flying high on YouTube at the moment since it launched on Monday. How are you this Friday night?
All good, mate. All good. Good to be on. Good to have a full house. The Croatian number, he was 32. Antonio Čolak, throughout the week. So happy birthday, Tony. That's all the Croatian information I've got this week. But yes, it's good to be on. And yes, looking forward to some great positive chats this evening. Let's be having you.
Yes, and if you go into Ross's channel, you will know
Ross
why
McLean.
you will know why he goes on about Antonio Čolak. So if you watch one of his videos, there's a big clue. Antonio Čolak does appear in it. So yes, get across.
Ross? That's the you would travel to meet Rangers players. Is that right? That one?
Yeah, that's the one. That is the one.
Brilliant.
Yes, so highly recommend to go and watch it. And a couple of your Inter Milan video was good as well. Not Inter Milan, Miami was it? Sorry. was a good one too. So yes, go over and check it.
You'll make me blush, gents. You're making me blush. Come on, come on.
I'd rather talk about this, talk about bloody Rangers.
Aye,
No,
Christ.
I'm just hyping you up, Ross, because I'm desperate for you to do one for us in the podcast, mate. I'm like, come on, come on. I think as though we can't really take Ross away on an away day to do it, because if we do that, then he'll be scarred for life. I mean, Ross doesn't drink. Us three are. Occasionally, we like to have a little tipple, the three of us. So, I mean, I would feel so bad for him because it would just be us three just rambling over each other as we probably watch Rangers get beat abroad somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, Ross, you don't want to come to us, honestly. Christ, no. But moving on, we have things to discuss. All bloody Rangers, unfortunately, to talk about. We have a game tomorrow in the League Cup against Hibs. But the presser was today. Russell Martin was out in front of the press. There's a few things they went through. The first comment was asked, I think it was Gordon Duncan actually asked the first one today, was about the trip to Loch Lomond. Obviously, it's made the papers, etc. Liam Kelly, I think, did the press as the player today, and he referred to it as well. It was actually quite a day out in terms of getting fresh air and stuff, but it kind of glossed over it a wee bit, Russell Martin, in terms of it was planned before. He did say something which I agreed with him, to be fair, that if Rangers were winning, nobody would be talking about this, which I agree. But we are not winning football matches, so this thing comes up. We'll kind of go through the presser. I'd assume all the guys here have probably watched it today. It was 12 minutes long, the presser. But first of all, Carney, on the first comment, obviously, which we knew was going to come out at him in terms of the team bonding, if you want to say, to Loch Lomond. He looked like a guy that... He doesn't look like a guy under pressure. He does not look like a guy under pressure. And he even made remarks of the trip to Loch Lomond jokes later on in the presser as well. But yeah, he gave me an impression, Carney, of a guy that is going to be here for a while. He's not going to be removed.
The way that the Rangers support are just now, there is, I would say, more than 90% of the support, as my guess, would be pretty, not annoyed, but pretty, I don't know what the right word is. I was left looking at that going, exactly what you just said. I thought, oh my, it was like a dawning realisation to me today when I watched it. I was like, he's not going anywhere. And with Kavanagh been over here, clearly had his talks. He had a smile on his face. He looked like the pressure had been lifted significantly from the last time we heard him talk. Yeah, I know he wasn't well and all that, but there's no doubt that he was under some pretty serious pressure. Whereas today, it looked almost like a guy that was free and easy. This is simple, cracking jokes about walking up a hill, etc. And I'm mightily concerned about that. I really am. I can only assume that he's had some form of reassurances. I know I'm reading between the right lines here. I do understand that, but I'm looking at it from an outsider in and looking at that initial press conference and not feeling pretty good about where we're going to go. You almost get yourself into a kind of a muddle, I think, when you're thinking about it, because you've got to remember the guy's a human being, right? And I do get that, and it can't be nice standing receiving the abuse that you are getting. So when I hear him talk, sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, got to remember he's a human. But then I immediately jump back to going, well, no, hang on a second. You're on you're on about £1 million a year to be doing this. You are the guy that's in charge of my football team, playing games in a way that allows us to create chances in order to score goals, which we're not doing even a single thing of. And yeah, the wee comment about the we went and walked up a hill now, so everything will be fine. I was like, oh no, no, that's not going to cut it at all. I'm not very chuffed at that, because it's not really the time and the place to be cracking a joke, really, is it? Let's be honest. And I do understand he would have got criticism whether they would have done it, well, it would be made the press whether they were winning or they were losing. Or it wouldn't have been as big a deal if they were winning. That's all well and good, Mr. Martin, but you're not winning. You're not even close to winning. So that could have been rearranged. It didn't have to be then. It didn't have to be that form of team building. There could have been a team building exercise done behind closed doors that nobody knew anything about, but no, you made it very public to go and do it. Yeah, I don't like it, mate. I know I should probably reading too much into it. I probably shouldn't. A walk up a hill shouldn't probably offend me. And it doesn't offend me. The whole idea behind it doesn't. I understand why they would go and do it, to give the players a break, to try and get them released from that, even though no matter where they go, they're going to get public attention from fans, be it media, whatever it be. They're still going to get public attention no matter what. So it was just the timing of it that's the bit that stinks, and he doesn't seem to think that. He seems to think, well, we walked up a hill, we went for a wee dip in the water, and can I get over it, kind of thing. That's what I read from it anyway. It did have a whiff of arrogance about it, mate, and I didn't really like it, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Scotia, obviously you've not been on in a couple of weeks because you were on holiday, but I mean, I wouldn't assume you've seen the Hearts game. I don't know if you've seen the highlights and stuff, and obviously the trip down to Loch Lomond. I forgot to say, Scotia, Kamar Roof was back on Saturday as well, promoting kebab shops down in Dunbarton again.
He was asking for you. He was asking for you. Kamar Roof was asking for you, Scotia.
I thought of you again when he was here. What's your thoughts on the Hearts game on Saturday? Was that a shock to you, Scotia, in terms of what happened to Rangers, and what's your thoughts on the trip to Loch Lomond as well, since you've not been on in a wee while?
So for the Hearts game, one of the good things for me actually being away is I kind of completely cut off from all things kind of Rangers. I think the only thing that I actually looked at, I listened to you guys on last Friday, and then I'll listen to the match, and then I listened to the kind of some of the post-match reaction from various people. That's all I done. So yeah, it wasn't. I think I put a wee comment in last week when I was watching along that when you were asking what the scores would be, Carney, and I was like, it'll be 2 each. So the Hearts game itself, that result wasn't completely unexpected that we get beat. The kind of manner and stuff of it, and the reaction of the crowd, from what I can gather, was kind of what I was maybe anticipating at the Old Firm game. It's just been kicked in the road in another week, but I've been kind of seeing something like that coming just by the performance of the team so far. So no, I've not actually watched any of the game, Ali. I was away there. I couldn't manage to get it in RTV when I was over there. So I only listened to it, and I listened to the first half, and after that I was done. I was like, no, this is rubbish, and turned it off and just sat and listened to music instead when I was down at a wee bar by the beach.
Yeah,
down by the beach and on that part, yeah, down.
Lovely segue, Scotia. Lovely segue. I love that there.
I'm a bit similar to Carney there, maybe not quite as vociferous, but the grand scheme of it, it doesn't really bother me. It's, a wee day bonding trip with the team, that's fine, all well and good. But like you say, Carney, it's context, it's everything, and you're just after a really bad defeat, after several bad defeats. Her performances aren't good enough. It maybe wasn't the best time to do it. And I do agree, Carney, in terms of the comments, and it's similar throughout all of Martin's press conferences, well, all the ones that I've listened to, which aren't many. There's this glibness, but because of the way that we are performing, it's coming across as arrogance. Like the way he answers questions and stuff. That if like as you were saying, Carney, if we were winning these wee kind of glib remarks back to questions and stuff, you'd probably actually quite like them. But because we're getting the way we're getting beat just now, it's like, no, listen, Martin, read the tone of the room and respond accordingly. He doesn't seem to be doing that for me.
Yeah, it does come across as arrogant, very confident, cocky to a point at times. It's difficult because we just see him in a presser, really. Don't know what he's like behind closed doors in the training bed. I don't know what he's like to the players, but Ross, he's Liam Kelly sort of elaborated on it today, saying that the trip down to Loch Lomond was a rest day for the squad anyway. So in terms of they would have probably been in their homes or stuff that day, and he thought it's probably a good trip. The fresh air, he enjoyed it, going on it, killing stuff, and he talked about it too. But he was also asked today about from the support, basically. I know Scotia wasn't there on Saturday to experience it, and God, Scotia, you're lucky you weren't there. But there's also a fans protest at 4:30 tomorrow. I think the UB are maybe organised at the front door. And he basically said that he respects the fans protesting. He can't take it personally. He did say he's not been feeling well last week. He had a chest infection. He actually did say after 60 minutes of standing on the touchline getting absolutely abused, he actually wanted to go and sit down because he wasn't feeling well, but he said he had to stand there and kind of take it. What's your thoughts on looking at Russell Martin today in that pressure? And do you agree with the rest of the guys and myself that he just doesn't look like a guy under pressure at all?
It's one that people will watch very, very frustrated because of the overall vibe at the club just now. I don't know if you go back the last few managers, you go to Clement, Beale, Van Bronckhorst, Gerrard. Do any of those 4 managers say words like that? I don't know. I think there's a level of professionalism in the last few managers that, don't get me wrong, Russell Martin, he's a grown man, he will be a professional, but for somebody who's been at the club before and knows the temperament of the fans, that's not something you ever say, especially not just now. So for me, it was one that was very, very off. Actually, I sat back and I rewinded it whenever he made that kind of smucky comment, because that is, I know it's just wee things, and I know that, I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but wee things like that will very much put the fans way out your support even more than they are. 29 months from Davy, 1642. That is remarkable. That is absolutely remarkable.
I feel
Thank you very much. Oh, that's wow. Here's another 29 months. That is first class. Jeez, oh. It's there's been many press conferences recently that we've watched back and reluctantly watched back, and there has just been that frustration there afterwards. That there's so many different sides to Russell Martin just now that fans just cannot get behind. And defending today, today was his chance to, he's not got a team of 11 men to, almost make a case for the fans to want him for. It's all him, and he still found a way to, fans are leaving today with more questions than answers. So it was not a good press conference for me, I'll be honest. And if he seems that confident, he's got a bit of a shock coming his way. Because there's no time to be relaxed just now, Russell. That is for sure.
Yeah, Carney, you're away obviously you're doing press tomorrow with with Stevie someone. As Russell Martin referred to Stevie Clifford, I think it was today. It's someone asked him about the team being uncoached, etc. Jim White as well has come out this week and had a pop at fan media in terms of they shouldn't be asking questions and stuff.
But he went back on himself though, because originally he said he was happy with the comment. It was good to hear media ask pressing questions, and then he completely flipped it once he found out that it was fan media. So Jim White's a plonker. Yeah.
But it's changed days these days. It's not like it was years and years ago with the press, etc. You've got podcast, fan media, etc. It's quite big in football teams, and Stevie and Davey get asked probably all the time, probably annoyingly in terms of Rangers fans saying, "Why are you not saying this? Why are you not saying that?" And you've got to give them credit. Last Saturday, they asked the questions that we wanted asked to Russell Martin, and they didn't hold back. And I just think he's not building bridges with the fans, Russell Martin, I don't think, at the moment. He's not trying to build bridges. He had a pop at us on Saturday in terms of the players' struggle under the atmosphere at Ibrox in terms of the moans and groans. But as we say, welcome to bloody Ibrox. There's a disconnect between Russell Martin and the Rangers support, Carney, and I don't know how he gets it back. And listen to the presser today referring to he knows who Stevie Clifford is, referring to him as someone, again, about the fans and stuff. And what's your thoughts on it? Because obviously you're going to be there tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to get your reaction in terms of being there and how the game goes, etc., and actually being in a room with Russell Martin. So it'll be interesting to hear from you after the game tomorrow.
Yeah, look, obviously, first of all, thank you to Stevie for asking me to go along with him to the Ganchi. We have done it on the podcast previously, and yeah, he invited me, and I said, of course, mate, I'd be delighted to join, because it gives you a different way of viewing the game, a different way of accessing the game, if that makes sense, and it's a good insight to get. Speaking from previous times I've been there, when there's been difficult press conferences after games, it's not a nice place to be. I'm not going to lie. It's a confined room. It's like one door in and out it. It's not a nice place to kind of sit when the questions are being asked, and you can hear the words coming out of whatever manager or whoever's been asked the questions at the same time. And after it, when the manager gets up and leaves or anything, it's very awkward. I mean, it is extremely awkward. And the fact that they've done it, the fact that they've went, no, that enough is enough, and both of them, I credit both of them for asking the questions, because they kind of had to. They at that point, they were like, right, well, there's going to need to be changed now. I think we're all in agreement of that. So it's a difficult thing to do. I don't ask questions. I'm not even sure if Stevie would let me ask a question, because I'm not a particularly bright man. But I don't know if Stevie would even let me ask a question. Probably would. I've never asked, but I tend to just kind of sit and try and soak it all in, really, and kind of take it all in and try and take my own ideas from it, barring the questions. But in terms of the way Russell Martin's approaching things just now, he isn't adhering himself to fans. I think he has came in with the conception of, they don't really want me here, but he's never really took the opportunity the opportunity that was clearly in front of him to go, well, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. Okay, I will accept the start of the season's not what he wants. I do genuinely believe that he's frustrated with how the performances have been. I believe that, because you have to. I think if he's a manager and he's committed to this, then he'll be frustrated with what he's seen. But I think you have to give him that at least. But the way that he approaches it is a confusing one, because he's not making things any easier for himself. And I know it's all well and good just reading into what a guy says. And we said at the start of the season when we heard him talk, he said he talks a good game, but actions will speak louder than words. Unfortunately, his actions haven't spoke louder than his words, and his words are all we are really left listening to just now, because the performances on the park are nowhere near it. We're not even close to it. So just the wee comments, the wee slide jokes and that today, I just thought you're not really wanting to seem like you're building bridges, and it did look like a guy had weight had been lifted off his shoulders when I watched it. I think his demeanour looked different. I thought he was sitting better. I thought he was almost smiling at one side of his face, and I thought this isn't going to change. I don't really think anything, no matter what happens on Saturday, tomorrow's going to result in any great change, barring a game like Club Brugge against Hibs. Maybe that's the only thing that I can think that the owners and the CEO might go, right, that's plenty, we can't continue on with this, because clearly it's not going to happen for you. So yeah, it's a strange approach for him to take. Even if I did think there was a chance for him to win the fans back, I don't think many of the fans will stomach it. The fact that there's going to be protests now, I would love, honestly, genuinely mean this, and I would love to be wrong about Russell Martin. I'd love for him to completely turn this round and we have an unbelievably successful season. But based on the evidence that I've seen so far, that isn't going to happen. We are delaying the inevitable. We're going to have to sack him at some point, be it, I don't know, after Hibs tomorrow, or be it further down the line, but it's already too far gone. And maybe that's his approach to it as well. Maybe he's going with, it's already too far gone, then I'll just do what I like. But again, that isn't going to end well for him. So I don't know why he would take that approach. So no, to say I'm sick of listening to him talk, mate, is an understatement. I really don't want to be seeing or hearing from him. And I know, again, trying to remember that he's a human being, I get that, but I just, I'm at the point where I've got nothing. I've got no time for him. I've got no time to listen to what he's got to say. I've got no time hearing him talk. If he goes on a run of 5, 6, 7, 8 games and we win, which is highly unlikely based on what we've seen, then he's still only one defeat away from everyone going, we should have sacked him after the Hearts game. And that's going to follow him around now unless he remarkably wins the league or something this year, which again is highly unlikely. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen after tomorrow, mate. Honestly, I've got no idea. But I'm looking forward to either way. I'll be looking forward to getting my own take on it after sitting kind of face to face with him and hearing what he's got to say after the game on Saturday evening. So it'll be an interesting post-match pod, no matter what way you look at it, and it'll probably be me and Stevie live from Ibrox after the presser. So make sure you tune in for that. We plug and all
that. Yeah, no, I'm interested to hear from you after the game in terms of, hopefully it's a positive reaction for Rangers, but in terms of what he's like in the press room, etc. Scotia, he was also saying in the press today that he talked in terms of why he picked Rangers as a club in terms of other options. He's came into other clubs, Southampton, etc. He's ripped the culture up, and sometimes it's taking a slight bit of pain before they get going, but when they get going, it's exciting stuff. And judge him in May, and hopefully it'll be a successful season. Which is big words to say when I think the league title's pretty much done already, and we're staring at potentially going to a League Cup. But he continually talks about, and I actually seen it, the fan advisory board, whatever they're called, met with Thelwell, Patrick Stewart, and you can get the minutes online now. And Thelwell mentioned the same thing that Russell Martin's been banging on about since he's come in terms of in training, the players are phenomenal, they're beasts in training and all this. Thelwell was going on about it, but it's just not, we don't see it on the park at all. Is he just a guy full of words, Scotia? Because at the moment, it's not translating on the park from what he's telling us about them in training.
Yeah, it looks like that. It looks like it's a wee Pedro Caixinha PowerPoint presentation number in terms of, he's got this job, and I had a wee read through the minutes. I think you guys, I've not watched you guys on Tuesday night, but you were speaking about that Fab thing,
no,
I believe, or
not yet.
Did you skip it? Right. Well, those minutes have been released, and I've had a wee read through them, and the way it comes across is that Russell Martin is not going anywhere anytime soon. Although obviously those minutes were from the meeting earlier in the week, and that's before Kavanagh's flew in. So whether or not that changes anything, I very much doubt it, to be honest. But no, yeah, he's waffling in these press conferences, similar to I am right now, to be honest. But he's it's the things that he's saying that like he picked this club, and Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thelwell talking about how they've gone through this selection process and found that Russell Martin was the best fit for the job. I refuse to believe that, because you look at his managerial record and it's no good. And I'm fed up of hearing you need to have this pain before the gain and stuff like this. It's like, no, Martin, that's not good enough. I don't want to be sitting in January and sitting bottom six, and then all of a sudden it all clicks into action. That's not good enough for Rangers. I don't know if you noticed as well, he also made what I felt was quite a sly dig, and I felt it was used, maybe thought differently, but I think it was maybe aimed at a certain Liverpudlian about some managers using this club as a stepping, or some people using this club as a stepping stone. When he mentioned that, but we've always known for the good few number of years now that players do that. I think he was actually meaning managerial positions, and what I took away from that, it was Gerrard he was getting on about.
Either that or Raskin, because obviously Raskin's made that comment previously in the past. I don't know if it was a dig at that either, but yeah, I can see why you would think managers as well, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that's just what I took from it, because like I say, I think we've now reached the stage where we've got an understanding that players, Rangers isn't the ultimate goal for the majority of players unless they're Rangers fans. So yeah, that's what I kind of took away from that there. But I like Carney, like everyone in the comments, I'm getting fed up with the press conferences right now, just because the way things are going.
And he also said, again, when he said that, I'm going, what's he looking at? He was on about the pressure in terms of the players and that, and he said, well, if you look at our second half performances, the start of second halves, he says, when we take a breath and kind of reset, if you look at our second half performances, they're always better. And I was like, what's he looking at here? I mean, honest to God, it's as if these players need an arm round them and all this nonsense. And when he said that, I thought, what have we done in second halves? We've had wee flurries in games. The Hearts game, we had a 15-minute flurry that did nothing. I know Gassam hit the post, but that was a moment's player, if you want to say. But I've not seen anything for Rangers in the second half. I don't know if you heard that today, Ross, that comment he made in terms of wanting to take a breath, and most of the time the second half we come out and play better. I just thought, what a lot of crap. Because I've not seen anything for Rangers in both halves. But to say that comment, I thought he's not got the evidence to back that up.
No, far from it. Far from it. It's another comment that Steven Gerrard doesn't say that comment. You know, I don't see why that's starting the second half strong is is that really all we've got to cling on to? You know, is that really it? After showing them a few wee highlight reels, that's what's going to spur us on to win a league title. No, not for me. Not for me. It's one thing I've been crying out for ages is actually starting the game well. I mean, we can't start a game. We can't start a game from the second half. But just there's so little to I guess gloat about just now. So that for me was another moment where it's just kind of head in hands definitely. And with all due respect, that's not the sort of attitude that I want representing my club. It's not being known for starting second halves better. That's not Rangers. That's not Rangers at all. Even going back to early on in the show, saying about how if we go on a run of wins, we don't see going on a run of wins. That's the fact we're in this situation that genuinely, and I agree with you, I can't see us going 5, 6, 7 games in a row. That's not Rangers either. There's so much this. I don't know how to describe it. It's just it doesn't feel like Rangers just now. Far from it. The standards are so low, and it's we can speak all we want about it. I genuinely think just it's come to a point which I hope, in a way, you almost hope it is tomorrow. The decision has to be made because I completely agree with Carney. The moment's going to come. We're going to sack him at one point. Might as well make it now. We might as well make it now because but then hypothetically, if you do win tomorrow, that's at least giving something for the next manager to work on. Because can I see Russell Martin going on and win this cup? Probably not, I'll be honest. But if we go through tomorrow and then say we drop more points in the league, could that then be an opportunity for the next guy? Again, it's all hypothetical here. This is me going off the fact he's going to get sacked. And there's a world where, by the sounds of it, it doesn't look like that's going to happen either. But there's so much just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like Rangers just now. That's kind of the one thing I keep going back to, and that needs fixed very, very soon. So I mean, it's a good thing we have less than 24 hours before our next press conference, gents. So yes, strap yourselves in.
Yeah, I know I've been quite negative on the presser so far, but
no,
Scotia,
really?
No,
I thought I was feeling this was quite positive, to be honest, mate.
But Scotia, there was one positive I took out of it, and I'm not saying this guy's going to solve all the problems and stuff because he isn't, because he's probably had a right good 6-month purple patch for Rangers. But he did say Nico Raskin is available for tomorrow. He's ready to be selected. He's in a good place. He was up Connacht Hill, maybe going up Connacht Hill, done him the world of the good going up there, but he's back, Raskin. We didn't hear about Rothwell. I was surprised we didn't hear about any injury updates in terms of who was available because Rothwell went off the park. But Raskin's a big one for me to go in the middle of the park tomorrow. I'll look at us at times in the middle of the park. I know you didn't see the Hearts game, Scotia, but I thought Asgard looks like a player if we can get players round about him. Conor Barron, as good as he was against Celtic, he's a squad player for me. He's not a first-team player, Conor Barron. But Raskin being available, he starts tomorrow, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely for me, yes. He's our best midfielder by far, and by far, but based on sort of the performances of others round about him that you would maybe put in a higher bracket. I'm looking at you, Diomande. I think he can do a lot better than he's been doing this season. But no, Raskin definitely starts for me. But did Martin not saying one of his other press conferences after the transfer window that Raskin was back in the squad? Did he not, or did he just say he was back training with the squad?
Back training with the squad.
Yeah. Right, back training with the squad rather than in the squad. Right, okay, no, but I would definitely like to see Raskin start tomorrow if we can, because like I say, I do believe he's our best midfielder, and the midfield should be built around him at the minute, rather than being built around anyone else that Russell Martin has in mind.
Yeah, Ross, I thought that was a positive, because when we seen that he wasn't playing against Hearts, we all went, oh, for Christ's sake, we thought this would be resolved. But it's good that he's back, and the way he's talking, Russell Martin, it looks like he'll be in the team for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's brilliant to hear him back. I honestly don't know how I see it happening in terms of a start. I know that we were speaking last week, he'll probably get integrated back in. Whether Russell, I mean, he was pretty, stamping down his authority. Is he still going to be in that kind of camp of, right, we'll bring you in gradually? Will he just? I mean, after this whole debacle, which it's been going on for some time, do you just get chucked straight in at the first opportunity? I hope so. I'd love nothing more, and I think it should happen. But I think he's going to go coming off the bench, mate. To be honest with you, we'll get onto our teams early on. But genuinely, I don't.
So.
I think for a guy who was stamping out his authority the amount that he did, I don't know if he just chucks him right in there and that's like nothing's happened. I reckon he probably eases him back in, which again is wrong. But I don't know. I just that's the way I was thinking of my team earlier on. I can probably see Barnes starting. I mean, we'll get onto our teams and scores later. We can have that chat later. But it's good to see him back. I hope he's starting. But yes, we shall see what happens tomorrow.
For the sake of Rangers, Carney, and the sake of us having our best players in the park and trying to win the game tomorrow, Nico Raskin has to start. I'm not saying he's the next coming of bloody Messi or something, but he's our best midfielder. As Scotia says, he's our best midfielder. He's our best number 6. It was actually interesting this week. Barry Douglas, I think, was on a podcast saying about Rothwell, about how he's not playing in the right position for Rangers and how he could play with Raskin if Rothwell played slightly further up the park. And Rothwell actually liked a tweet, or he liked a video on Instagram of that reel or something, which was interesting. But Raskin starts tomorrow, doesn't he?
There's absolutely no doubt, mate, that Raskin starts for me tomorrow. I can fully understand where Ross is coming from, though, in terms of how he's going to integrate him back into the squad. I think he made the point that it'd be good learning for Raskin as a human being and as a footballer, and good for Russell Martin to learn from, etc., etc. And I think he stopped short of saying it's good for me because now the rest of the squad know they can't mess with me. That's generally what I thought he was going to say, but he kind of stopped short of saying that. If he doesn't play Raskin tomorrow and Rangers get beat, it's just another massive pole to get smashed over the head with. Yeah. He has to play Raskin tomorrow. There's absolutely no getting away from it. This, to all of us, is already a game too far. If he wins tomorrow, it will buy him time. Rangers won't sack him, even though, again, I don't see the point in that. It's still one of those things that he is going to need to get sacked. I don't think I would be happy to be wrong, as I've said previously, but I don't think he's going to turn this around. I don't see anything in this Russell Martin approach of playing football that is giving me any sort of hope that there's something going to change on the horizon that's immediately going to change our fortunes and we're going to create loads of chances and we're going to start scoring goals. I don't see that happening. But you have to get your best players on the pitch. You have to get your best players on the pitch in the right positions. The Rothwell one, I'm not going to read too much into. He played with Barry Douglas, I think. I think he played in a team with him at one point. So he might just be liking his pals' post. Do you know what I mean? Liking his pals' comments. Like, not going to read too much. You can't really read too much into that. I don't know. It can be, I suppose it can be looked at both ways. I can see why people will think it's kind of snide, the fact that he's done that and liked it. And I would be all for that if I thought Rothwell could be this box-to-box guy. He's not going to play the kind of 10, if you like, because Asgard will play it, because he's a more talented footballer than he is. With the style that Rothwell is, he gets the ball and he drives forward from kind of the middle of the pitch, if you like. Asgard, you want him to do his best work closer to the strikers, I would say, or closer to the wingers as well, is where I would think you would want to see the best work come from him. So if Rothwell is meaning that, then I've got serious concerns about his ability to be able to do that, because he doesn't look fit. You can't blame Russell Martin or Thelwell for signing him, because this isn't the Rothwell that was playing football last season. Whether he's carrying a knock, he's not fully recovered from an injury, whatever it may be, it doesn't really matter. It's not the guy we all thought we were getting. He's blown out his arse by about 55, 60 minutes, and he has been subbed many times, and it's not as if he really has been busting a gut. Obviously, during some of the European games we've had already as well, he looked lost. He looked like he was walking about not really knowing what to do with himself. So I would would I want to see Raskin sitting as a 6 with Rothwell in front of him? Honestly, probably not. However, I will. Scotia's right to point out Diomande. I'm not just bashing Diomande for people giving me a hard time. I think on Saturday again, you've seen that he just hides when things aren't going very well. He deliberately takes himself out of play in order to not receive a pass, and it's a frustrating thing to watch, because he's a much better player than we see at times from him. But I think he's got more legs in him than Rothwell does. So I would be playing him over him a bit. I think in terms of what I think the style is that Martin's trying to do, the number 6 is pivotal in more ways than one. Quite literally pivotal, because it's how we move forward. It's how we break up play, win the ball and move the ball forward. If the style of play that he wants to happen actually happens, and there's nobody better at the club right now than Raskin. He's a Belgium internationalist. We can't have him sitting on the bench. Or sitting him in the stands. That's just crazy, absolutely crazy. So for Russell Martin's own sake, he should start Raskin tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I hope he does. And listen to him today, I think he will. He needs his best players in the park. If he wants to get a win tomorrow, he needs a bloody win tomorrow. He's got to play our best players. So yeah, I think he'll play. But yeah, that's near enough 40 minutes of talking about a bloody presser. I think it's the longest we've talked about a presser on a podcast. But just before we come on to the Hibs preview, I just thought I'd bring it up because it came out today. I don't like talking about decisions. We'll call it. I mean, we did say at the weekend there, there was some very dubious decisions against us, but it didn't cost Rangers. I think Rangers would have found a way to get beat if the Shankland goal didn't stand, if we scored, etc. We weren't good enough in the day. Hearts were the better team, deserved to win. But there's been a lot of decisions this weekend. And the Scottish FA key match incident panel, if I recall, have come out and said that they unanimously agree that the Shankland goal should not have stood because it hit his hand. Even Lon Shankland was, after he scored the goal, was saying to his fellow players that it's hit my hand. It's hit my hand. And the goal for Rangers should have stood. There was nothing wrong with it at all. And then I don't like looking at the other side, but they had a very, very dubious penalty as well. But VAR, I always remember Haymart saying when we talked about VAR in this podcast, he went, it doesn't matter because it's the same clowns running it up here looking at it. How can they not get this right? There's umpteen views of it and they can't get it right. And then days later, a panel sit down and they all go, no, we all agree that's completely wrong. That goal shouldn't have stood and that goal should have stood and the Celtic penalty shouldn't have stood, for instance. How can they not get it right in a day?
You've opened a can of worms there, mate.
No, I know. Sorry.
It starts with the top, mate. So it starts with Willie Collum. We all know what Willie Collum is. We've all seen Willie Collum officiate many a Rangers game. It's Willie's ball, and you'll do as I tell you. And it was always him being the centre of attention, nobody else. Now, the VAR review thing that we see on YouTube now, it's not a coincidence to me that it's Willie Collum that's doing that, because it gives him his moment, doesn't it? It gives him the moment in the spotlight to say, look at me, I'm going to tell everybody whether we were right or we were wrong. The fact that the decisions are, and I'll take Rangers out of the equation, this isn't just Rangers either. It's not just decisions against Rangers that we all got upset about. It happens up and down the country. The officiating in this country is a joke. However, the SFA don't want to do anything about it. They don't want to change it. They're quite happy for it to tick along, for us to stay in the dark ages, not have any proper representation, even easy for me to say, at big tournaments in terms of officials going to big tournaments. They're not interested in it. They don't care. They want the cheapest option possible in order to keep their pockets lined. And we've said it for I don't know how long, that there needs to be full-time referees in this country. There just has to be. We play in European competitions. Now, with the Conference League introduced to it, even more teams are playing in European competitions now. We should have full-time referees. There should be guys trained morning to night. Their 9 to 5 should be to learn how to be a better referee, and they're not going to do it. It's very simple to become a Class 1 referee in Scotland. It's even harder. It's extremely hard to get removed as a Class 1 referee because there's no consequences for the bad actions. We've seen it after the appeals with things that were getting done. They're immediately straight put back in to officiate Rangers games and whatever else. The decisions on Saturday are appalling, generally appalling. The handball one is just, there's no excuse for it. There generally isn't. It rolls down his arm like it's quite clearly being controlled. The ball actually goes in the direction he wants it to go after it coming off his arm. It is a handball. There is no way the goal should have stood. Our goal, it's not a free kick, but it's the same thing that we see all over the time. You put literally breathe on a goalkeeper the wrong way and immediately get a free kick because it's the easiest thing for the referees to do as well. And that's another thing the refs will do up here. They will always take the easy option. The reason they do it with Rangers, in my personal opinion, is because the club don't put enough pressure on the SFA around this. There is nowhere near enough pressure or communication from the club directly to the SFA about these refereeing decisions. There's another club in this city that have done it for years, and they get ones for them, we get ones against us. I might be wearing a tinfoil hat, but that's my take on it. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous just how bad the officiating is for everybody, not just Rangers. But there is no doubt, mate, it starts at the top. And when Willie Collins at the top, I've got no hope, mate.
Yeah, Scotia, did you see I think you've seen the highlights of the Hearts game and stuff, but I just don't know how these guys kind of get it right that's sitting as far of them, and they've got umpteen angles, time to look at it, and how they can't see it's beyond me. It's black and white, man. And as Carney said, it's not just us. It's all clubs across Scotland, but it's just continuously bad officiating. And you would have thought VAR coming in would help these guys, but it isn't helping them at all. It's getting worse, if not.
Yeah, I've seen a wee clip of the Shankland incident, and yeah, ridiculous that it was allowed to stand, given the chance that they've got to go and look back at the incident. I knew we were going to be speaking about VAR, and I was going to make the exact same point that you made at the top there, Ali, about the comment that Ryan had made many moons ago when we were doing a pod just before VAR was getting introduced. And Carney's right to an extent that we definitely need the referees to be full-time now. There's no use having them part-time when they're coming at the end of a long week and coming in and yeah, and I know they did not earlier on this season, did they not bring in like a speaker from like that does air traffic control stuff or something like that? They have a discussion with the VAR team. I think everyone had a wee bit of a giggle about it, but that's something that I actually didn't mind. It's actually something quite proactive to improve the situation. But ultimately, I think Carney's spot on that the refs do need to be full time in order to see any improvement, because it's constant. And as well, the problem we've got, and I mentioned this in that pod we done as well, we've brought in a VAR light. It's not even VAR proper, because we, for whatever reason, we decided we'll just go down this VAR light route. And I mean, how long's VAR been in now? 3 or 4 seasons, and we've not even got to the stage where we're upgrading it.
We don't have goal line technology anymore either, because it's like, like it's just bonkers. It is.
No. Until we, I do think until refs go full time, we're constantly going to get these issues. But I'd like I say, I did feel that what they were doing with that, bringing that person in to speak to them about it, like dealing with high pressure situations, is something a wee bit more proactive, and I would like to see more of that. But Carney's spot on in what you're saying about it. Probably won't, stuff like that probably won't change because the SFA aren't really arsed.
Yeah, Ross, I think we're just going to have to live with it, because this is what it is. It continually happens each season. they have the camera views for it, and somehow still can't get the correct decisions. That on the Monday in Sky Sports News when Dermot Gallagher and all that sit down, they must have a right laugh up here because they go through all the decisions and he sits there and goes, "Oh, that's wrong, that's wrong." But they must be having a laugh up the officiating up here. But it's just poor. And like I say, I'm not having a moan in terms of that cost Rangers at the weekend because it didn't. Hearts deserved to win the game. They would have won the game regardless, I think. But it just doesn't help when you've got these guys officiating games up here and they're just something not good enough.
No, I know, mate, I know. But that's the thing, like, it also has cost us in the past. I mean, go back to the cup final with that Tierney penalty. That's literally the difference between winning a cup and not. There's plenty of decisions out there in the past that have cost Rangers. Don't get me wrong, I won't be naive. It's cost other teams as well in the league, I'm sure, for it. I agree that, ultimately if we were to win the game at the weekend, we should have done it by putting the ball in the back of the net, not because of a refereeing decision, but there has been moments where we look back and games have been won or lost because of refereeing decisions. I understand human error, I get that, but with the technology there, just consistency is all we ask for. Consistency is all we ask for. Don't get me wrong, like I'll have nothing more than at the weekend watching, Premier League highlights. Many decisions there are, I look back at and go, that's dodgy. There's very rarely ones that compare to up here. There's moments up here like that Shankland handball that is clear as day, genuinely clear as day. You go back to, what was it, Tom Lawrence and the Old Firm, a tackle on the halfway line and they're dragging it all the way, but disallowing a goal because of all that back there. Whereas, it happens at the weekend, there's something more clear and obvious. I'm rambling on, but you know what I mean? There's many, many occasions where it's just a bit baffling. But as you say, mate, smile and wave, because by the looks of it, it's just the way it is up here.
I'll look forward to tomorrow.
Just quickly, Ali, I seen a comment there pop up from Martin about get officials from outside of Scotland. That won't work because they tried that before when one team moaned about things and it didn't really work.
What's with just appointing people as VAR officials? They don't have to be refereeing officials. They just learn the rules of the game. They're then brought in to be the VAR officials. Why does it have to be Clancy and Dallas and Robertson? Why does it have to be these guys that all take turns at it? Can we not? But again, it's money but the money that the SFA will not spend, I suppose, answered one question there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just think we'll have to put up with and officiating on the park as well, and with outside VAR too. I think it's poor. It's been poor for years, so. But anyway, we'll get on with it. But that is us moaning and groaning there. We have a game to look forward to tomorrow. It is on Premier Sports, I think, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It is 5:45 kickoff at Ibrox. I was going to say under the lights, but we've not got to that point yet. It'll still be light at that time. Hibs come to Ibrox. A chance to get into the semi-final of the League Cup to go back to dreaded Hampden. Scotia tomorrow. I know obviously you've not been at the Hearts game. You're back at Ibrox tomorrow. I expect, looking at the numbers, I don't know if you've had a look at the numbers of tickets that have been sold, but I think there's going to be about a half full capacity. You expect Hibs to bring their full allocation through tomorrow. But tomorrow, what's your thoughts tomorrow, Scotia? Have you got any positivity? And Justin Muir, before Scotia comes in there, as always, thanks very much, Justin. God bless America. But yeah, Scotia, what's your thoughts of tomorrow?
Yeah, cheers, Justin. No, it's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. I know, like you say there, the stadium itself, will it be half full? I don't know. I jokingly said, well, it wasn't even jokingly. I put into the group chat that does anyone want a ticket, my ticket. The only reason I'm going along is because I've got one and I forgot to remove myself from the CCCS thing. And I've not been to Ibrox in a while, and it's a chance to meet up with folk and stuff like that.
And you didn't get a chance to shout. And you didn't get a chance to shout, Martin, get to France either, is it?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be difficult to judge because it's going to be the atmosphere in the stadium in terms of with it being half full. Will it be as toxic as the Hearts game? Only folk that were there will know. I don't know if it will be because so many people will maybe refuse to go. I know Union Bears are obviously planning their big protest outside the doors before the game. So yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be pleasant atmosphere. Hibs are going to come in to this right up for it. I mean, it's one of their only chances for silverware realistically in the season, isn't it? So they'll be well up for this, considering, you know, then they'll look at it as a really good chance to win silverware this season, given how poorly Celtic have been playing as well, as will all the teams still in the competition at present. Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to meeting up with you guys, right? I'll put it that way. Not so looking forward to actually going along and watching the game, I don't think. But there's a wee part of me that's got a sneaky suspicion that we might manage to get a result tomorrow.
Look
at the way I say that.
It's the staunchness in you coming out there, Scotia. That's what that is. That's the staunch coming right out of you.
Right, Scotia, since you brought a bit of positivity there, and before we got our lads, what's your team score and first goal scorer?
Like, this is the team I would go for if I was looking to win the match, and I don't know whether Russell Martin would go for it or not, but I think Kelly will come back in goals, probably. Obviously, we've not seen what Martin does in cup games, but given that it was at the press conference, probably Kelly in goals. Back four with Tav. I'm going to go with Suter over Giga. Suter, Cornelius, and
Suter was
Magoma.
crap against Hearts. Christ.
Was he?
Oh, God.
Okay, well, I'll still going with Suter over Giga and Cornelius and Magoma. Part of that's down to as well because Giga's going to be away at the end of the season. Whereas with Suter and Cornelius, they've maybe get the chance to form a partnership. So that's what I'm thinking there. Midfield, I'm going to go Raskin. Going to keep Barron in the midfield and Asgard. Then up top, I'm going Gassam, Miovski, and bring in Finlay Curtis on the wing. And I'll go 2-1 Rangers.
Who's the first goal scorer?
Hibs. Someone Bowie from Hibs.
I like that. At least you'll get to hear the Russell Martin chance if we go 1-0 down, Scotia. Right, Ross, what's your thoughts on tomorrow? And again, you've always got a curveball, to be fair. Your team, first goal scorer and scoreline.
Number 4, John Lundstrom. That's my curveball for this week. He's back. No, you know what it is? 5:45 on a Saturday should be a belt of a time for football. You know, get there. Good time for, you know, as you say, meet up before, meet up after. Should be class, but I can see it far enough. I can just see it far enough. We haven't beat Hibs in the last 3 times we've played them. It's actually the 29th of September last year, almost a year since the last time we beat them. It was a 1-0. So there you are, folks. Enjoy your Friday evening. But it'll be what it'll be. But I'm going with, I actually agree, I'm going to go Kelly in goals, back 4 of Tav, Suter, Cornelius, Magoma. I want Raskin in there. If it was the team that I want to play, Raskin's in there every week. If it's going to be the team I think is going to play, I'm going Barron, Diamande, Asgard, front 3 of Gassam, Miovski. I think Atman will come back in, but I'd want that to be Curtis. So if Scotia's team lined up tomorrow, I'd be a very, very chuffed individual. But I have a feeling it'll be, I think Raskin will be from the bench. And it'll be Atman instead of who am I trying to say? Sorry. Ant-Man instead of Finlay Curtis. That's the one. Sorry, gents. It's past my bedtime. So I'm going 2-1 Rangers. We're gonna do it. That 3-game drought, we're gonna turn the other way. And it's gonna be Ant-Man who's gonna score. The headlines are gonna have an absolute blinder because they can make all the Marvel references they want. He's gonna get back in the score sheet. So yes, that's all I can ask for tomorrow. And through to the next round. But hey, how many times have we been here before and said, "Oh, I hope." I hope more than anything this week, gents. Honestly, because it's a one and done, and we cannot afford to lose. So yes, 2-1 Rangers. That'd be lovely.
Interesting. None of you have said Mikey Moore to start tomorrow. If I see
No.
Mikey Moore in that, I no disrespect to Mikey Moore, but if I see him in that team tomorrow, oh God, he's just too lightweight for me and bullied against Scottish teams. Carney, what's your thoughts tomorrow? Obviously, you're in the presser, you can't shout and swear. But what's your thoughts, your team for goal scorer and scoreline?
I can't shout and swear, but I think on Stevie's video, mate, I'll probably still be saying a few choice words, but I expect to be saying a few choice words on the video anyway. Interesting, Kelly's interview today. Seems very much that he's very much behind the manager as well, which another thing that made me think that there's been conversations had that he's not going anywhere soon. He seems to be very much on the manager's side. I know he's not going to fling the manager under the bus or even try to, but yeah, I did get that impression from him. Because Kelly obviously was in the presser today, I do expect him to start. If not, it's a very random person to send out. No disrespect to him, but it's a random person to send out for the presser, so I'd expect Kelly will come in. Tavernier, I think it'll be Shooter as well. Shooter, Cornelius, Magoma, Raskin, Diomande, Asgard, Gassam, Mayovsky, and Ant-Man, I think. I'd like to see Curtis, to be honest, but I think he'll play Ant-Man on the right. Do you want me to be honest? How honest
Be
does
honest.
chat want
No,
me
be
to be here?
honest.
I think
Be
Rangers will
honest.
get beat. I think Rangers will get beat 2-0. I don't think we'll score. I don't think we're going to see a massive improvement. I think it will be another nail in the already closed coffin for Russell Martin. I want to be wrong. I want to be absolutely wrong. I want Rangers to be fantastic tomorrow and I want to be entertained, but there's no evidence and there's no feeling that makes me feel like it's going to be like that. And Scotia said about it not being toxic. It may not be toxic tomorrow, but the atmosphere will be horrific. It will be as flat as you like. It will be an awkward place to sit and watch football in a very, very, very empty stadium, especially after coming off of a week that we've just had, and also with a protest happening outside the game just before the kick-off. So I'm not expecting much. I'll be honest, I'm not expecting much tomorrow. I think it will be, I hope, if we get beat with the way I expect it to be, I hope it's the end. And I hope we can put this thing, that whatever Russell Martin has been, behind us and move on. But 3-0 Rangers, Majorski hat-trick.
Yeah, I mean, Hibs are a decent team, to be fair. I mean, they're sitting third in the league at the moment. Hibs have played one less game than us. They've only played 4 games. They're undefeated. They've only won 1 game. They've drawn 3. Last game, I think they were 3-1 down to Dundee United. Came back to draw at 3 each. But they have pace, Hibs. And pace kind of hurts us at times, especially our centre halves. We're a bit slow. The boy Bowie, who's doing well for them, and Boyle, obviously, who's got pace, which we know about. So, yeah, I think they'll come and have a right go at us, Hibs. I really do. I think Hearts kind of showed how to play against us as well. I thought they pressed us well. So, I think Hibs will do the same. My team as well, yeah, Kelly in the pressers, which you would suggest he will start. So, Kelly, Tav, Suter probably will start. Again, I still don't think Suter's good enough, but he'll start. Cornelius, Magoma, Raskin. I think Diamande will still be there. And Asgard, Gassam, and Miovsky. And I agree, I think Ant-Man will stay in the right. I did think about Chermiti, because when are we going to see him start a game? But I'd like to see Ant-Man there as well. So, yes, that is my team. Tomorrow, God, I'm kind of in your camp, Carney, but my laws of averages that I always say to you, Carney, that they've got to win a game somewhere, Rangers. Tomorrow, it's going to be a weird atmosphere at Ibrox. Like we say, there's probably be half the crowd in there that should be in there for a game like this. They have to win, Rangers. I know we said this bloody last week, but he has to win. He's got to win. Kavanagh's in the crowd as well. I know we said he knew he was coming weeks ago, but he's there. He'll see exactly what's happening. And it could go to extra time tomorrow night as well. It's got to be finished on the night, which I forgot to say, which, Christ, that's the last thing we need tomorrow night, because I'm quite keen to get back to the pub afterwards for a couple of beverages. But tomorrow, I think it's going to be 1-1 after 90 minutes, and it's going to go extra time, and it's going to be 2-1 Rangers in extra time. And I agree with Scotia. I think Hibs will score first. So that's what I think. And I don't want to be sitting. I know. I don't want to be sitting there until God knows what time at night, watching Rangers do that. But yeah, and somebody put in the comments there, which I said on Tuesday night, Hibs are 3-1 tomorrow to beat Rangers at Ibrox. So if you want to put some money on it, there you go. But yes, I did say to the boys before we come on tonight, I thought, will we struggle to speak an hour about Rangers because there's not really much happened since we spoke on Tuesday, but we are well over the hour mark. So I'd like to thank everyone in the comments tonight for being there, supporting us as well. I think we might be able to answer some questions tonight, but we've spoke too much, so unfortunately we can't. We'll do that next time. But last but not least, my three guests that have been on tonight. Mr. Carney, thanks very much, and enjoy the press room tomorrow.
Yes, thank you very much, mate. I'm looking forward to that. Always am looking forward to going doing that. I say I'll be on Stevie's video, and then I think we'll Stevie on our channel. We'll go live from Ibrox. Hopefully the signal and that's all good enough for us to do so. So you'll be able to get our take from there. So yeah, here we go again.
I'm just looking forward to your question tomorrow, Carney. And Hibs beat us 2-0.
I'm just going to pick up Stevie's mic. I'm just going to pick up Stevie's mic and just launch it at him.
Bad for Ibrox. Yeah, no, looking forward to seeing that. And Scotia, no doubt I'll be seeing you before the game. Well, I will be seeing you before the game because I have your season ticket in my wallet as we speak. But it'll be good to see you.
It's
mobile
tickets. It's mobile tickets.
Scotia. Yeah, it's mobile tickets, so don't bring your smart card. But I will bring your smart card anyway to give it back to you. So yes, I will see you probably at the Viceroy tomorrow, Scotia, before kick-off. I know Tommy's coming as well, so he will be gracing us with his presence too.
Yeah, no, cheers. Glad it's been a good talk this evening. Glad to be back. Well, no, I'm not. I lie, but yeah. We make do with what we've got. And luckily my Wi-Fi's played up tonight for once. I think it's the first time ever. No, it's been a pleasure.
Your dad must be knackered right now. You need to go get him off that bike, mate.
Maybe upgraded when you were on holiday there, Kennel. And last but not least, Ross McLean, thanks very much for coming on. You're not going to Ibrox tomorrow to suffer the pain, are you?
Of course I'm not. Of course not. No, unfortunately, I can't go tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's a wee bit of work to do tomorrow. But you know what? We'll see what happens, lads. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to post-match from Carney tomorrow. It'll be a very, very good watch. So make sure to tune in for that, folks. It'll be a very, very, very interesting watch indeed. And yes, thank you to everyone in the chat as always. Let's just, go into the weekend. Forget about Rangers. Enjoy your Saturday until about 5 o'clock, folks. You've still got the whole day ahead of you. Make sure make the day yours. Make the day yours. But yes, we will see you after the game tomorrow to chat all things Rangers.
Yeah, as everyone knows, Carney's doing the pressure with Stevie tomorrow. Are we doing a post-match, Carney, as well when you come back down, or are you just going to do that with Stevie?
We'll see. I don't know, mate. You're acting like I plan these things. I've got no idea. We'll see. We'll
see what happens.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for the lads for coming on tonight, and thanks for everyone in the comments. We are very close to, I think, 8,000 subscribers now. So yeah, your support is much appreciated. But yeah, we'll be back with a post-match tomorrow. Hopefully, a Rangers win. Hopefully, Rangers into the semi-final of the Cup. And a start for Russell Martin. So, yes, we'll see what happens. But we have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Good night.